All right, good morning, everyone. Today is April 29th, 2020. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in Albany. Present in Albany is Chairman Bradley, and by phone we have Commissioner Ford. We have you, Commissioner Ford?
I'm here, yes.
And also by phone, Commissioner Fan. Commissioner Fan, can you just kind of check in for the record, please?
Yes, hi.
All right. Also in Albany, we have Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Roberts, Counsel to the Authority Meyerhoff, and myself, Secretary to the Authority Donahue. As with our last few meetings, this meeting is being done pursuant to an executive order issued by the governor allowing the meeting to be held with the two of the members participating by telephone rather than in person. And also, as with the last few meetings, there were no personal appearances by any applicants, licensees, or representatives, and so forth. The next meetings of the authority, so I don't have to ask anybody to silence their cell phones. Well, I might have to, but yeah. The next meetings of the authority are May 13th, May 27th, and June 10th. As of right now, all those meetings will be held in the same manner, subject to further instruction from the governor. Chairman, do you have anything else before we get ready to the items?
No.
All right, then. We're going to proceed in the order that the items are on our list. The first item being item 544, Kingsbridge Liquor Store Corp.
So a liquor store in Bronx County, for the five closest are bulletproof. The principal is to manage with one employee. It is 1,050 square feet, 700 square feet retail.
I have some concerns here about the flow of the money in the financial disclosure. It says that the applicant is only spending $850 of cash on hand, and then is borrowing $7,500 from, I guess, his current employer at a place called Malcolm X Shop at Smart. Not sure what that is.
Yeah, I asked myself why the store where he works was loaning him money and what the relationship was.
Yeah, right.
Also,
it's also very, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to note for the record that the closest store is 0.2 miles, 900 feet approximately.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of close. So I am going to vote to deny.
Okay, then, Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, there's a store like right down the street, and I don't really see the need either looking at the numbers. So I'm going to vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny. There are 5 stores within a half mile, the closest being 0.2 miles away, which is very close. We licensed stores, 2 of the 5 closest stores in 2016 and 2015, and I don't know that we've seen how those 2 relatively new stores have impacted the sales of the surrounding stores, so I don't see any public convenience and advantage.
Okay, then. The next item, 545, Two Hands NoHo LLC.
So this is a new on-premises liquor license in Manhattan. The Manhattan Community Board objects. It's a restaurant managed by the principals, 10 to 20 employees, no security, recorded music allowed, no DJ, no live or karaoke, and no dancing. The CB's protest is non-specific, just really a saturation argument. They don't really seem to have any arguments regarding this particular place. They need a bathroom waiver.
Are we ready to vote then?
Oh, and the ALJ found no public interest in the 500-foot hearing.
And there was the community board wasn't clear about their method of operation, their plans and so forth, but the letter supplied by the attorney, I thought, did did a decent job explaining how they planned on operating. I'm not sure if that's reviewed and approved by the board, though.
Well, they have a related license in a neighboring neighborhood, and it's, from what the letter indicates, it's going to be identical to that.
Also,
And this place, it's been open since the beginning of the year already, right? Without a license.
Correct.
this is, I think, their third restaurant.
Yeah, and they don't have any adverse history, from what I can tell.
Well, I think only one of them is licensed. But also the 500-foot hearing, the ALJ's decision was based on nobody appearing at the 500-foot hearing. Neither side.
Yeah, and they cited some table and seating discrepancy, and then they also had questions about the public bathroom issue. So I think those are solvable. Point.
Are we ready to vote then?
I think that was cleared up in the letter.
In the letter. Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, for sure it's less than 40 seats. That's what we know.
and I don't think their hours are unreasonable. Excuse me.
No, I don't think so either.
What are the hours? I didn't see that.
It's 10 p.m. on Sunday, midnight Monday to Thursday, and 1 a.m. Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
They're not trying to be a super late night. It says we are not going to be a nightlife-centric establishment.
No, and the real, I get the community board believes there's too many licenses, and there are 9 licenses within 500 feet, which in Manhattan and what we've seen in other neighborhoods is not really a ton. But the thing that bothered me is they thought that the concept wasn't consistent with an on-premises license, and really their business model is being utilized by a number of restaurants, particularly in Manhattan now, that are opening for breakfast in order to get more revenue. And this place looks like it's going to be an all-day place, but I don't think there really, in my mind, there doesn't appear to be any risk that this is going to turn into something other than what they say it is.
Yeah, I kind of had the same feeling. I mean, I didn't think that's a disqualification in and of itself. So I'm ready to vote if you guys are.
All right.
Right then. Commissioner Fan?
Okay. Despite the 500-foot hearing outcome, I am going to vote in the affirmative to approve because this licensee has a track record with the Liquor Authority, and we are pretty confident that we know what is the business model that they're going after here with this license. And so with that, I will vote to approve with 10 to 20 employees, no security guards, recorded music only, no live music, no DJ, no karaoke, no jukebox, no dancing, no promoters. If there are any windows to be closed, they need to be closed by 10 p.m. every single night. The hours will be Sunday until 10 p.m. and midnight Monday to Thursday and 1 a.m. Friday, Saturday. And I will allow the bathroom waiver.
Commissioner Ford?
Everything you said, I approve.
Chairman Bradley?
I approve with the same conditions.
Next item, 546, CK Cafe Llc.
So this is a liquor store in Brooklyn, 610 square feet, 360 square feet will be retail, 1 protest, 2 employees and a manager, and the owner will also manager. You have 5 stores within 0.4 miles. 4 of the 5 are bulletproof. The applicant is not bulletproof.
The applicant is not what?
Is not bulletproof.
Oh, okay, got it.
And the closest store is 0.2 miles.
Yeah.
Is the closest store CB? No, is that CB Wines and Spirits? No, Popular. That's the closest one. Popular.
Yes, Popular.
Are they bulletproof?
They are.
Yeah. Yes.
So the closest non-bulletproof was just licensed in 2017, and that's the second closest, which is 0.3 miles away, CB Wines. Everybody else is bulletproof.
Right. Yeah, this applicant is a non-managing applicant. He currently runs a coffee place in this location and want to switch to a $12 to $15 bottle wine shop. The numbers, the closest door is gaining in sales. The second and the fourth are declining in sales. Third one is a new license.
New owner, not new license. Oh, the third one, right, is a new license. You're right. It's a new owner, though, not new license, just so you're clear.
Right. Yes, okay. New owner. I mean, only because he's the non-bulletproof, I'm going to vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
Can I ask this one question? Mr. Larkin, he's a legal counsel for New York City. Is he allowed, someone in that position allowed to have a license too?
He's not as far as we know, he's not a police officer. So yes.
I don't know. Do you know anything different?
No. The question is because he's an attorney who works for the city. Is that an issue?
I'm asking. Is that a?
If it is an issue, it would be an issue with the city, not with our law.
Yes. That not a licensing issue for you.
Okay. The store is 375 feet from the proposed location. Second closest store is 930 feet. Even though he's offering a non-bulletproof among sea of stores, recently, I just don't quite see the need here. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Chairman Bradley.
Where was?
We have one to vote, one to approve, one to deny.
Yeah, I'm going to vote on the same basis that Commissioner Fan did. There's the surrounding stores are all bulletproof, and I think that there's certainly a public convenience and an advantage to adding a non-bulletproof store. So.
All right, the next item, 547, 2425 Hyde Park Boulevard, Inc.
This is a Niagara Falls package store. 1,000 square feet, 850 is retail, one employee, principal to manage, but will also continue their current employment. Has no experience. There are 2 protests, 4 stores within 1.9 miles. The closest is 1.3 miles. We opened the 4th closest store in 2017.
I mean, honestly, I think that, tourism is it's going to take a while to come back. And so I think this is perhaps an untimely vote, but I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I think the closest store is a little bit longer drive than maybe it looks down to Pine Ave. And I think the store would serve the Highland area and Niagara Falls. So I would go to.
Commissioner Ford, we didn't get your vote. Got cut off.
I would vote to approve.
Okay.
I'm going to vote to deny. The sales of the closest store are at best flat. They appear to go up and down with consistently. The second store is showing declining sales. The third or the fourth closest store has only been open less than 3 years, and as Commissioner Fan pointed out, I think we're in a different scenario as far as tourism goes, at least for the near future. So I don't see a particular need for this in this area at this time, and I don't see any public convenience and advantage.
The next item, 548, is a disciplinary matter. Aldos Inc.
Erie County, straight, no contest, unauthorized trade name. No history.
I'm at letter of warning. The trade name is, they use it DT Food Mart, and it should be DT Food Mart, and they put Downtown Food Mart, so I think it's just I'm happy with a letter of warning for this one.
Commissioner Ford.
I had written down letter of warning 2, so that's where I'm at.
Chairman Bradley.
Letter of warning.
Next item, 549, Curry's Wine and Liquor, LLC.
This is a Schenectady package store, 1,800 square feet, 900 of which is retail. There are 2 protests. The principal had a grocery store license previously with no history. The principal is going to manage with 2 employees who have 5 stores, 1.3 miles. The closest store is 0.7 miles.
And for the record, there's no moratorium on new liquor connected as far as we know.
Yeah, I'm not aware of it.
Yeah, all we have is the stray comment, not any evidence of that.
Like somebody wrote in a letter that there was a moratorium on liquor stores in Schenectady.
Well, Schenectady could not impose its
Well,
moratorium.
it doesn't matter because even if they did, we haven't heard about it. So.
Commissioner Fan, are you ready to vote?
I will vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford.
This location was previously licensed until 2016, and the protesters, those that protest, have been there since 1967 and 2006. So,
Well, it was licensed as a grocery store, not a liquor store.
Oh, when it closed in 2016, it was not a liquor store?
No. That Schenectady A 2194812 is a grocery store license.
I think Commissioner Ford's talking about the places nearby.
No, you're talking about the applicant's store per premise, right?
Location, yes.
Yeah.
So it just had a beer and wine product license before.
Just beer, actually, not even wine product.
Yes, I'm going to vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to approve as well, mostly because 4 of the 5 closest stores did not even report sales figures. I'm going to assume that they're having bang-up years of sales. And then, if they're not going to report their sales, then I'm going to assume it in favor of the applicant. So I see a public convenience and advantage to putting a store in this location.
Next item, 550, Boca Marina Restaurant and Bar, LLC.
Cancel and bond, accept.
Yeah, cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford.
Cancel bond, accept.
Next item, 551, Bowie One Seafood, Inc.
Straight no contest for failure to notify change in fact. No adverse history.
Can we do the next 3 together? The 3 together for the same licensee? 551, 552, and 578.
Yep.
Yeah, all 3 of these are,
Hold on just for a second.
just for the record, all 3 of these are failure to notify the same principle.
All right, so for 551,
I'm at 500.
Commissioner Ford.
The matter was dismissed less than 2 months later, but he still had, and he got a COD. So, but he still had responsibility to notify us of it. So I was going to do 1,000, but I'll do 500 as well.
500.
For 552,
I would do 500.
500.
Commissioner Ford,
It's not the same. So we're going to fine him 500 per license. Is that what
Unless you don't want to, that's fine. What do you think?
It would have been a $1,500 fine if he had one normally. So what we appear to be doing is just stretching that out over 3.
Okay, all right. I'll agree with that.
okay, so wild guess 578,
500, please. Thank you, so.
Commissioner Ford,
Yes, I'll agree with that. 500.
Member Bradley.
500.
Next item 553, 1965 Coney Island Avenue LLC.
This is a straight no contest, 6 charges. And you want to explain what went on here, Council?
Yes. So this location, the discipline, the adverse history on this premises, which you see on your agenda sheet, is for a series of charges that took place on a date 1 month after the charges that are currently before you. And at that time, my understanding from talking to my prosecutor on this case is that the police officer on the earlier case wasn't available to testify, so the other case went forward, even though it was second in chronological time. And the board did essentially the tenor of both cases is that the licensee was using his premises by loaning it out as a catering hall and thus not supervising the sale of alcohol, leading to the charges, and that had also occurred a month earlier, and that's the case before you. So there is a supplemental submission from counsel for the licensee saying that this licensee was already punished for the conduct at issue in this case. That's kind of true. The type of conduct was punished, although this is a separate set of charges from the prior period.
But it's fair to say that when the first events were discovered on 10/13/18, and we eventually charged him, he did not have notice of those charges before
the second set of events. That's probably true. There's also in the set of charges before you some licensing issues that were not part of the second case, so he was not disciplined at all on those issues. And we have no further referrals from this location after that time.
Okay. All right, any questions?
No, the charges on this one are, what, 2.5 years old?
Correct.
2.5 years.
1.5 years old.
Yeah. And nothing else. I would settle this for 4,000.
How much?
4,000.
Okay.
1,000.
1,000?
Yes.
All right, 1,000.
Chairman Bradley.
All right, 1,000. I got to be honest with you, I was at 5. And that was a gift. If it wasn't as he said, I would have canceled it. But 1,000.
All right, next we have items 554 and 555, Restaurant Sandwich Garcia Corp.
Conditional no contest.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
A little slower on my little kitty table. Next item, 556, Brewster Gas Mart Inc. We also have 591,
Yes,
which is
same.
a related item.
Yes, I will accept 6,000 on 556 and 10,000 on 591 for the second and third steps minor.
Commissioner Ford,
6,000 on 556 and 10,000 and on 591. No, good.
But I'll do the same.
okay. Next item is 557, Sapphire Wine and Spirits Inc.
This is a removal of Nassau County Liquor Store. The store's moving 6.53 miles. We have 12 protests. We denied a store at this location in 2018. And there are, all of the closest stores are new closed stores, and they're meaning that they're new to this applicant. And there are 5 within 1.7 miles. The closest is 0.9 miles.
Are we ready to vote then?
Yeah, I mean, with the large number of protests, it's 12 stores in protest, and not a clear explanation of why this move is being planned, I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
I'm going to vote deny for the same reasons that the chairman and I denied before. That there are, how many stores? 14 package stores within 2 miles of the applicant's location. So I vote to deny for the same reason before.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm voting to deny as well. We denied a license at this exact I think it's the exact location, in 2018 for lack of public convenience and advantage. Nothing has changed since then, so I don't see any public convenience and advantage.
Next item, 558, Laugh, Live, Love with Liquor and Wine Corp.
Brooklyn Liquor Store, 2 employees, principal will manage. The principal has no experience. 886 square feet, 845 will be retail. There are 7 stores in 0.9 miles, 4 stores within 0.5 miles. The closest store is 0.2 miles away.
And provided no response. The closest store.
Yeah.
Correct.
No protest and no numbers.
I have a question about where the money for this is coming from. They are investing $5,700 or $5,800, which is cash. The rent is $1,800 per month, which means you have to pay the first month's plus a deposit. That's $3,600. I don't know. So there's something lacking here as far as what they're investing. It clearly is going to cost more money than that to open a liquor store. And based on the pictures, there's going to have to be major renovations done to the place that have not been done yet, and there's no indication of where that money is coming from.
All right. Yeah, I also have questions about who will be continuing to run the commercial cleaning business, because it says that she will keep the current occupation and also work 50 to 60 hours at the liquor store, which doesn't seem possible to me. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I'm just looking at the numbers from the other stores that did report, and I would not say that they're tearing it up by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't really see that any indication of need for another store at this location, so I'm voting to deny.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote tonight as well. The second closest store we licensed in 2016, so it's been open about 4 years. I have major issues that they're going to try to renovate this place and open a liquor store for $5,800 a month. And as Commissioner Pham pointed out, this applicant appears, or at least says, she's going to continue working 40 hours a week at her current job as a commercial cleaner, and then 50 to 60 hours more a week in a liquor store. I don't see how that's possible. So I wonder who would be working at the liquor store, since she's not going to be hiring a manager. So I vote to deny.
Next item, 559, Sun Petroleum Inc.
This is a Sullivan County liquor store in Wardsboro. Adam, did you have information on this?
We do have another liquor store that we recently conditionally approved very close to this location. I believe it's within a half a mile or so.
It's closer than that. It's like a block away.
So it doesn't show up in your materials because it hasn't been approved yet, but we did conditionally approve it.
Meaning it came to the board.
Meaning it came to the
April
board.
1st.
The board approved it April 1st. So we're waiting on conditions to be satisfied prior to approving.
There are 5 stores within 16.3 miles. This store is going to be 1,330 square feet, 1,080 square feet of retail. The principal currently owns a convenience store, I believe that's right next door. And as Adam said, the closest store is now very nearby. The second closest is 4.2 miles away.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Timing issue. I guess, I mean, I will vote to deny because there's a store that's opening up.
Commissioner Ford.
I was surprised that there wasn't a store there already, and I was prepared to vote to approve. But now that I understand that another store is like a few feet away, that's already been conditionally approved, and they were there first, so I would have to vote to deny. I would say if that store does not, I mean, they've been conditionally approved. I guess if something happens, they could always come back and reapply, but I'm going to vote to deny.
Chairman Brett.
I'm going to vote to deny as well because we did just put a store in there. This is a rural area. And to put 2 stores on top of each other and say that there's public convenience and advantage just doesn't make any sense. This applicant's building appears not to even have been built yet or even started. So there's certainly... this would not even be available until I would guess next year anyway, so I vote to deny.
Next item, 560, Unamuno LLC.
This is a Duchess wine store in Beacon, New York. 2 employees, the principal will manage. There's 3 protests the mayor of Beacon supports. 400 square feet, 345 square feet will be retail. Closest store is 0.1 miles, and there are 4 within 1.2 miles.
I mean, I would only approve if all the stores are having increasing sales.
They are. Well, the 4 closest stores all appear to have increasing sales.
Yeah.
In this store, the footprint of it is a smidgen of the others at 345 square feet retail. The others are 2,400, 1,500, 1,500, 2,200.
Yeah, this is located right in the downtown area of Beacon, on Main Street.
I don't know. Do you think there's a need there for another kind of? I don't know. I mean, pictures look like it's going to be a certain look.
What's with the bottles already on the shelves? Are they just there for
Yeah, I was gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that that was just for our purposes.
They're dummy bottles. Let's hope. Let's just assume they're dummy bottles.
No, I'm sure they'll fall, but
The closest store, for the record, the closest store is 0.1 miles. And
Yeah, I would only really be comfortable voting for this if they're not allowed to sell what the other stores are selling or something like that, and it's wine only. But I know you guys don't like it when we try to do that, so.
Well, it's going to be wine only anyway, so.
Yeah, I know, but not sell the wine that's being sold at the closest store is Beacon Wine and Liquors. I mean, literally down the street.
Are we ready to vote then?
yep. And
Commissioner Fan?
notwithstanding the ambivalence,
I don't know. There are two other stores on this one main street. I think I'm going to have to vote to deny. I can't really convince myself that there's public convenience and advantage to put three stores on one street.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm going to vote to approve, and only because it's a little over 300 square feet. It's a really, really small store. And the mayor has asked us to approve it, so I'll defer to his leadership.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to approve as well. I recognize that there are two stores very nearby, but this is only going to be wine. It will remain only wine in case someone comes back and watches that video. Again, it's never going to be a liquor store unless somebody else leaves. And the main reason, because it's the city of Beacon is showing at least prior to the situation, the COVID situation that we're all in now, was showing a renaissance, and the sales of the four closest stores show that they have consistently increased over the last 4 years, all four of them. So I think there is an increasing demand. This is going to focus on wines, so I think there is a public convenience and advantage. And the mayor supports it, obviously.
All right, the next item, 561, Bola Liquor Corp.
Sullivan County Liquor Store removal. The store is moving 540 feet, increasing the size, however, of the store by 3 times. It's going from 1,170 square feet to 5,200 square feet. And the four closest will be the same.
there's a letter of support from the town of Thompson, which is that little hamlet that's right there.
And there's also a late letter that was emailed to us from Assemblywoman Aline Gunther, too.
This is right off of Route 17, the quick way.
Yeah, I have some concerns about how they plan to get this move done with just $1,000, but other than that, I am okay with it. Since the closest store, no matter what, it's 5 miles away. And with all the letters of support that's been mentioned, I vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to approve as well for the same reasons.
Chairman Bradley?
I vote to approve for the same reasons.
Next item is 562. This is Lucky 7 Restaurant and Bar LLC. This is being held over at the request of Council's Office to May 13th, and the licensee is aware of that.
Yep.
Next
May
item,
13th?
May 13th, yep. Next item, 563, New Camellia Cafe Corp.
This is 8 charges after hearing. Dismiss charge 1, dismiss charge 2, sustain 3 and 4, dismiss 5, sustain 6, 7, and 8. It's not clear. On the front page, it indicates that she did not dismiss, the ALJ did not dismiss, or that the ALJ sustained charge 2, but upon reading the decision and seeing her summary on the back, or his summary on the back, I'm sorry, it's clear that charge was dismissed.
Charge 1 also.
Charge 1 and 2, yeah, there's
Well, I
a third.
said 1 or, oh, right, yeah, in the summary, right. 1 and 2 were both dismissed.
Correct.
So let's go through it again just so it's clear. 1 and 2 are dismissed in the ALJ's decision. 3 and 4 sustained. 5 dismissed. 6, 7, and 8 sustained.
I am at 5,000.
Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, these are all health issues. Mostly, anyway. I will go with 5,000 as well.
5,000.
Next item, 564, La Vue Cafe Inc.
15 charges after a hearing. Sustain 1. Withdraw counsel's office request. Charge 2. Sustain 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Withdraw 8 at counsel's office request. Sustain 9, 10, and 11. Dismiss 12. Sustain 13, 14, 15. This place was open 6 months and all this happened.
I'm at cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Next item, 565, Rick's Food Service Inc.
This is 2 charges after hearing. Sustain 1 and the ALJ dismissed 2. Believing an expert. Did you have a problem with this?
What, with the dismissal?
Yeah. I mean, the ALJ took expert testimony from an expert who all the expert did was examine the noise test, but never discussed what the basis for his decision was. He's never even been to the location. He didn't examine the instrument used. He didn't establish where he got the good practice procedures that he indicated that the officer or whoever took the sound reading was not following. There's no basis for it.
I found the discussion of what the expert did in the opinion to be unsatisfying, but not so outrageous that I could say that it was definitely wrong for the ALJ to have decided to credit it, and that's the only reason I have not.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
it seems suspicious to me, and I wonder about the use of expert testimony at all in our hearings without notice and an opportunity to respond, which I don't know.
Well, there was no report done. There was no examination done by the expert. His whole testimony appears to be conjecture and speculation and should have been given minimal weight. But I won't disagree.
I don't want to step into the ALJ's shoes and say that it gave it too much weight. Although, you know what they say about expert testimony.
Yep.
Find a guy who wasn't there. For a price, we'll tell you exactly what happened.
Right. Which is what I'm concerned here. And I don't even know that this guy's established he's an expert. But whatever. Okay. So sustain 1 and dismiss 2.
Commissioner Pham.
I'm at 1,000.
Commissioner Ford.
I was going to be less than that, but I'll 1,000 too.
1,000.
Next item is 566, Golden Orange NY Corp.
This is a Suffolk County grocery store charged with 6 charges after a hearing. The ALJ dismissed 1, sustained 2, 3, and 4, dismissed 5, and sustained 6. The improper conduct is selling illegal prescription drugs, some of which were actually antibiotics, bizarrely.
And a syringe.
And a syringe.
I'm at cancel and bond.
He did testify that the other drugs were for sale, and he was not aware that it was legal to sell. So that's one I haven't heard before. I'm at cancel and bond as well.
As am I.
Next item, 567, Felix Lewis Inc.
He wasn't aware it was illegal to sell drugs. Antibiotics that were prescription.
He just had them under the counter.
Yeah.
Over the counter, under the counter.
11 charges for a bar in Hempstead. After hearing, all 11 charges were sustained, many of which are technical violations.
I'm at 5,500.
Commissioner Ford?
I was at 5,000.
5,500.
Did you say 65 or 55?
55. That's what she said, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
500 apiece.
All right, 55. Okay. I thought you said 65.
I see.
Sorry.
So, Commissioner Ford, you're good with the 55?
Sir.
Okay. Next item, 568, Rico Gourmet Deli Inc.
This is a tavern wine license in Manhattan. One charge of sale to minor, 18 years or under. The ALJ sustained the charge.
500.
Say that again?
What was that, Commissioner Ford?
3,500.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
I'm at 4,000.
Under 18, but they went to hearing.
Chairman Bradley?
All right, 4,000.
Commissioner Ford, you're still with the 35, right?
I thought it was 3,500 if it was under 18.
If it's a non-calendar item, it is.
I mean, generally it is, but I think because I don't know, ask Commissioner Fan, why did you feel like 4,000? I did it because she did it. Which isn't really a good reason.
Come on, they went to hearing. It's a tavern wine.
Okay.
So, Commissioner Ford, are you with
4,000.
Ford? Okay.
4,000.
All right.
Went to hearing with no defense.
All right, next item, 569, A&S Spirits
Sorry, go ahead.
Corporation.
Before you describe everything, counsel's office, although a belated decision, believes that at least one of the charges was dismissed for technical reasons that could be easily addressed by just changing the date on the pleading, and requests that the board allow this to be fixed, essentially to conform with the evidence. We wouldn't even expect there to be a need for more hours of hearing here. So we ask that this be addressed in that way.
So adjourn till.
I think it needs to be sent back either to the hearing bureau or to us. I don't know how that works, Tom.
But it would be, you're amending the pleading.
We're going to amend the pleading
So,
under Rule 54.4.
So it would need to go back to the an ALJ
Right.
to render a decision on the amended pleading. We have to notify the the licensee may say I want to put in evidence. I don't know.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's right.
That being said, given recent developments, which I don't need to go into here, I would ask the members. I'm going to be requesting a delegation of power at an upcoming meeting. But I ask with respect to this matter that as the person in charge of the Zone 1 Hearing Bureau, that I be allowed to assign the matter to a different ALJ to complete it, because this ALJ will not be able to complete the assignment. She's not with us anymore.
Okay.
So you're okay with that? Let me assign to somebody else.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is not just being adjourned. It will come back on a new agenda at
It will
some
come
point.
back with a
new
fresh decision, yes. Whether or not there is an additional, hearing.
Can we take 2 minutes so I can run to the restroom?
Sure. Okay, we're going to take a brief recess for personal matters.
Sure.
we're back on the record after a brief recess. The next item being 570, Posse LLC.
One charge after hearing, the ALJ sustained the charge.
And the license is already surrendered.
Yes.
And I am at cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Next item, 571, Dewstan Development Corp.
8 charges after hearing. Significant adverse history. The ALJ sustained charges 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and dismissed charges 2 and 4. I question charge 2. I think the ALJ was absolutely incorrect on. There are 2 corporations, one of which was the licensee, and then later another corporation took over control of the licensed premise. Whether that corporation is owned by the same people or not is irrelevant to me. The licensee is the corporation, and there are 2 separate entities here that were running this place. The ALJ found it notable that it appeared the same people owned the corporation. I don't think that matters, do you?
I didn't think it mattered overall on the outcome of this case, but I agree
It
with
doesn't,
you.
no.
I agree with you that the availing charge, that it appears that there's substantial evidence. From my perspective as with the prosecutor's office, that there's substantial evidence here of availing.
She's basically saying that a licensee cannot avail its own license, and that's not what's happening here.
Commissioner Fan, Commissioner Ford, and Chairman Bradley are sustaining charge 2. Are you on board with that one?
Yes. I also have some questions about charge 4. Again, this is like the other case we talked about. It's more a state issue than anything else, whether the licensee actually permitted consumption and sale of hard liquor. Because this, it's more a date thing because the allegations or the charges on January 29 of 2018.
I think the difference here, just for the record, is that the evidence in support of the warehousing charge was the receipt that there was alcohol was purchased. The alcohol wasn't found on the premises, and that was the basis for the dismissal. Whereas in the other case, the alcohol was found on the premises, and it's just a question of when it was purchased, it's like the inverse of this case. So I don't know that they're necessarily the same.
So there's no alcohol found here, period?
No, this in the review of the receipts that this guy was purchasing all of his alcohol from Astor Place liquor store. And because those purchases included liquor and not just wine, this is a tavern wine license. The charge was that he was, taking that alcohol to his location, and that would be an unlawful warehousing.
So it probably was the case, but there's no real hard evidence of it.
Yeah, the ALJ found that wasn't substantial evidence, and that's, from my perspective, the ALJ's fault. Although you certainly have the power to overturn it.
Okay.
So with respect to charge 4, are there any votes to change it to a sustained charge?
No, it's okay. I mean, I don't need to sustain it.
Okay.
But all around, I don't gain any comfort from counsel's letter saying that they're going to now apply for a corporate change to add the son of the licensee, because it seems like he's really already running the show and switching tabs and selling things that he's not supposed to sell. So my vote is cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford.
I'm a cancel and bond as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm a cancel and bond.
Next item, 572, El Patron Nightclub Cabaret Restaurant Inc.
It's a Bronx nightclub, one charge. After hearing, the ALJ sustained the charge. One prohibited hours charge from 2017, which so very little history, actually.
Very little history. The violation relates to security guards.
That there were more guards there than there were on the roster. That was the
Yes.
violation. So I'm at a letter warning. They don't really have a bad history and like that. So
However, we sort of rejected letter of warning in September of
That's right.
2018 and issued a count of 1,500. So, and then now this is after hearing, so I think we should at least be at 1,500.
I'm at 2,000 because they went to hearing.
Yeah, I agree with you. 2,000.
all right,
Commissioner Ford?
you're right.
2,000?
You're 2,000. Yes.
Okay. Next items, 573, 74, 75. La Nueva Platis Inc.
This is a straight no contest of 3 proceedings, 20 charges, and significant adverse history.
Also including a second sale to minor and a third sale to minor in 5 years.
And 3 police officers were hurt, 2 of them pretty badly in one of the incidents.
Focal point. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at cancel and bond.
I'm at cancel and bond too, without a doubt.
Cancel and bond.
Next item, 576, 29 Bedford Street, LLC.
This is a conditional approval asking to be extended to December 31st, 2020. I'm okay with it.
I'm okay too.
December 31st, 2020.
Next items, 577, 584 Henry Deli NY Corp.
This is a conditional no contest to 8 charges, 2 separate proceedings. Gambling on premises.
Pretty much the same exact charges, right? So it's not like they addressed it.
Well,
They
yeah.
took the gamble. They took the casino out of the back, though. It looks like that.
Well, but what happened was in 2017 they were fined for not having the food and drink business and public assembly licenses. They apparently went and got them, but didn't renew them the following year, and thus were charged again in November 2019 for the same thing. And even after getting those charges, they still hadn't renewed them 3 months later, 2 months later. So they are recidivists with respect to these 3 licenses.
So I was at 7,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept 7,000.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item, 579, 7 Star Gourmet Deli Inc.
This is a Queens grocery store license. Previous 3 applications for this location have been denied for cause. I looked somewhat closely, and I don't see any relation between this applicant and the former applicants or the former owner.
No, I don't see any relationship either.
So they're either hiding it very well or I missed it.
Commissioner Fan,
Okay. Yep, with that, I vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to approve as well.
Next item, 580, Four Guys Deli Corp.
This is a new grocery store beer. This isn't wine products, right? It's just
Spear.
beer. Just beer, not beer wine products. In Westchester County, Yonkers, the applicant availed another license at another location. The former owner of this place, the former owner of the place he availed is financing 40% of this place.
Also, the applicant not only appeared at the board meeting on the license that was revoked in this location, he also was one of the witnesses who testified during the hearing that led to the revocation of the prior location here. Mr. Salema, or Salame.
And with that, I vote to deny for cause, fitness and character concerns.
Commissioner Ford.
Say that again about who this person was.
The applicant's principal worked for the prior licensee at this location and appeared before the full board on the licensee's behalf in the disciplinary matter that led to the revocation of the license.
But it wasn't just that he appeared at the board meeting, he was also one of the witnesses for the location that was revoked in trying to argue that the charges were inappropriate. So he was obviously invested in that location.
And he also availed a license someplace else.
Okay. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Deny. For cause.
Next item, 581, Soho Works 875 Washington, Inc. Do you want to consider the other one? Where's the other one?
617B.
So these are two club licenses for work sharing companies, the same work sharing company in Soho. One is on the 3rd floor, the other is on the 5th floor. And apparently the work sharing spaces are on the other floors. And they're 617 is the other one?
617B.
B, okay, I got it.
They are seeking a club license, club wine license.
Can you advise us on the ABC law definition of club?
Yeah, so not-for-profit clubs can receive a club license. The definition of club is found in ABC law section 3, subsection 9. And there was supplemental discussion of these issues. There were discussion of these issues in the supplemental materials because Community Board 2 objected to this license on the grounds that they were not sure that this was really a not-for-profit. Actually, to be entitled to a club license under the law, there are multiple requirements, not just that the entity is a not-for-profit under the corporation law. It must also be a place that is exclusively a premises exclusively for club purposes. It has to be operated solely for a recreational, social, patriotic, political, benevolent, or athletic purpose, and it cannot be operated for pecuniary gain. And I also note for the members that in Mr. Bernstein's letter, in which he chastises the Community Board number 2 for not understanding the not-for-profit corporation law, he points out that under the not-for-profit corporation law, an entity can make a profit and elect to pay income taxes on that profit, suggesting that might be what's contemplated here. And that might be true for the not-for-profit corporation law, but it would not be true under ABCL Section 3, because that would mean this is not a club if it operates for pecuniary gain. Council's office is concerned that this may not be a club. And
then, having reviewed the application, there appears to be zero money invested in this endeavor by the club. So do we know who's financing the purchase of everything?
The only information that we have with regards to is the premise is going to be built out for the sublessee, but with regards to any other finances on rent, for supplies, staffing, things like that, we don't have the information.
And the rent, to be clear, is $1.389 million per year.
Yeah, $115 a month for that.
Yeah.
$115,000 a month.
But the concern is that the application, I don't think the application makes it clear how this business operates. And by this business, I mean the not-for-profit business that's seeking a license, and in indicating that this business, this not-for-profit business, has no expenses and no money.
Well, it does have expenses. It's going to have $1.389 million.
But the application says that it will have no expenses and has no capital, no lending, no nothing. Some other entity not named in the application must be the true entity responsible for purchasing the first bottle of alcohol that goes in here, and we don't know who that is.
So I have issues. I don't think that this license is appropriate for either of these licenses is appropriate for this. I think it's an attempt to circumvent the ABC law. The real business here is obviously a work sharing company that is leasing to tenants. It appears, although it's not clear in the application, that those tenants, regardless of what type of tenancy they're going to have with the work sharing space, are going to be the quote unquote members of the club. And based on the definition that you just mentioned, that does not make it a club, nor does it make them members of a club. I'm not opposed to a licensing of a business like this. However, it's clear to me, based on the number of applications regarding this type of business method that's come before this board, that this type of license does not fit in this business model, nor does the ABC law have a license that fits in this business model. And rather than go seek legislation to try to create such a license, they seem to all want to run to circumvent the law as it stands. And I just don't see how this one fits in. So I'm going to vote to deny both of them.
Commissioner Fan.
Gary, can you just repeat the list of purpose, of not-for-profit purpose under the
Yes.
ABC law?
This is a direct quote from Section 3, subsection 9. Must be operated solely for a recreational, social, patriotic, political, benevolent, or athletic purpose. And while Mr. Bernstein's letter jockeys between describing this place as just a social meeting place, he also concedes in his letter that work is being performed here, that this is for office work.
Right.
And the community board's letter, supplemental letter, which led me to the website of the company, makes it clear that that's what this business is.
Mr. Bernstein says it's a co-working space.
Right.
It's unlike other co-working spaces, but it is a co-working space.
Well, could it be argued that it's a social aspect of the co-working space?
Well, I suppose that is his argument.
I think that's what the intent is, but that doesn't, in my mind, that doesn't make it a club.
It says it has to be operated solely for a recreational, social, patriotic, political, benevolent, or athletic purpose. That's what the law says. And the problem, of course, here is the floodgates. If a co-working space meets the definition of a club, then all working spaces, all buildings in New York City could say, we want our tenants to socialize and ask for a license under the same premises. And the landlord could create, in theory, an LLC, a not-for-profit corporation for that purpose and turn the law inside out.
I see. So, what license category is WeWork holding?
They hold various ones. OPs, they do hold club licenses, some of them. I can tell you that some of those may have been approved without full contemplation of the lease agreements that are in place for those. This is a bit different in the fact that it's only beer and wine and not full liquor. But again, the fact that it's a not-for-profit, the club licenses are intended to be those for not-for-profit organizations that are established as clubs with membership.
So WeWork formed a nonprofit to hold the club licenses for the ones that are club licenses?
No, not necessarily. They may have, but there are cases where they may have already exist. They use another entity. So we've been routinely denying those types of applications, mostly for interior access to other businesses, as they've separated out this working space from the bar areas.
Okay. Can I ask for us to go into executive session, please?
Yep.
You will have to, we'll mute these lines. We'll need, if you can email me a phone number where we can call you, perhaps from the chairman's office, so you can have,
No, we
well-
just use the cell phone here.
well, you don't want an executive session. You want to have a conference with council, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take a recess on this, and then we'll have to arrange a conference call. All right, so we're just gonna. I'll email both of you in a second.
Okay.
unconscious
Commissioner Ford?
insecurity and wanting to show everybody else virtue.
Yes?
You email me a phone number that we can call you for a conference call with council.
I'll send it right to you.
Thank you. And for those watching, we're going to take a brief recess while the members have a conference with their council. We'll be taking a brief recess. There's a fire alarm activation in the Albany office. We'll be back shortly. For those people who are watching the webcast, there was a recess taken for a conference with council. However, just before that started, there was a fire alarm activation in our building, so we had to evacuate this floor. That matter has now been resolved, and the members are now having a conference with council on the legal issue. After a fire drill and a conference with council, we are back on the record. Commissioner Fan, Commissioner Ford, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
So I just
I'm here.
Okay.
Wait.
I want the record to be clear. That was not that was a conference with council that was essentially 5 minutes, and a fire drill that was more like 40 minutes. So we apologize for the delay, but our building did have a fire drill, believe it or not.
So we're back on the record now on items 581 and 617B. And we were in the process of voting. Chairman Bradley had voted to deny each of the applications, and then we took the recess for the conference with council. Commissioner, is there any further discussion on this before we move forward with the vote?
I don't need any further discussion with the information that's on the record. Not really comfortable issuing this license, so I vote to deny on both matters, 581 and 617B.
Commissioner Ford.
I vote to deny as well. There's some things I'm not clear about it, such as the financing. I'm not sure about this class of license, if it's applicable or not. So I vote to deny.
All right then.
And just so it's clear, am I misreading this, council? Can you look at the temporary certificate of occupancy that was sent to us? Mr. Bernstein indicates in his letter that it references use group 6, which is correct, but it appears to me that the use group 6 reference is only for the cellar, floor 1 and floor 2. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 through 5. All right, I got it. Okay. I misread it. All right, my fault.
All right, then the next item is 582, which is 151 East 57 LLC.
This is a Manhattan on-premises license on 57th Street on the east side. There are no protests. The community board has entered into stipulations with the applicant. It's a 500-foot case. It's a restaurant with 5 employees. The principals are to manage. There'll be recorded music only. Maximum occupancy is 74 people, and the principals both have experience.
And the ALJ has concluded that the applicant has met the burden.
Yes.
And there are the stipulations. Have they been included? Where are they?
Yeah, those are in the materials in the 500-foot hearing questionnaire.
Okay. And the community board has resolution of no objection.
Correct.
So I would vote to approve.
Commissioner Fan?
I vote to approve as well with all the stipulations. Recorded music only, Monday to Sunday, 2 a.m. Windows closed by 10 p.m. every night. Background music only. No security. Principals will manage. They will have to file a personal questionnaire if they were to hire a manager. I would be surprised if they don't end up doing that. Recorded music only, no dancing, no promoters.
Chairman Brett?
I approve under the same condition.
Next item, 583, Soho Hummus LLC.
This is a change in method of operation. The licensee wants to be open till 2 a.m. Now, based on conditions we put on the license, is only allowed to be open till 11. Wants to be able to keep the doors and windows open till 9. Apparently believes that they are allowed to keep them open till 8, when in reality the license clearly states that they're supposed to be closed at all times. The community board, as well as members of the community itself, are in strong opposition for various reasons, most of which are the saturation of licenses in the area, as well as this licensee's conduct, which they find
Not acceptable.
not acceptable, right?
You ready to vote then?
Yeah, and yeah. I mean, there's evidence here that the licensee is already operating beyond, their allowable hours pretty consistently from, anecdotal evidence from the neighbors. And as the chairman said, they really are supposed to be keeping their windows closed all the time, but they do not. I think this is a case that is just, the age of the building probably plays in here. That it's an old tenement building that has, zero soundproofing and you can hear everything. And with that unfortunate fact, I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to deny as well. I mean, they're operating outside of their MO anyway, as it stands now, which needs to be addressed. So I vote to deny.
Is that another vote?
Did your daughter just vote, Commissioner Fan?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, there's no problem. I'm kidding.
No, that's actually downstairs.
I vote to
My
deny.
house also has no soundproofing.
I vote to deny. I vote to deny as well. I remember this license being granted. There was significant opposition at the time that it was granted, which made us put these conditions on it, such as the 11 p.m. closing, the doors shut. The licensee should be on notice now that we're going to be checking that once it is allowed to open back up, that these conditions are being followed. It's obvious based on not just the opposition, but on the evidence that the opposition presented, such as pictures, that they are not following the conditions and that they're not being good neighbors either. So I vote to deny. And when I say doors must be closed, that means all the French doors as well as the front door are to be closed at all times.
Next item is 585, Perfect Touch Cuisine 2, Inc.
A change in the method of operation wants to add a DJ and dancing. CB number 4 protests. It's a restaurant with 4 employees, no security, and has already violated their license by having a DJ and dancing, which we have fined them for.
Yeah, with the letter from the community board stating that they have consulted with the 70th Police Precinct and writing saying that they're not supportive of this proposed change in operation, I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to deny.
Next item 586, Halsey Bar and Grill LLC.
The Brooklyn restaurant with 8 employees. The community board objects. The local assembly member objects as well. They do refer to an outdoor area. This is also a change in method of operation, I'm sorry. That they want to remove all restrictions put on by the full board. They want DJ, meaning they want to be open at till 4 a.m. every day. They want a DJ karaoke and no other restrictions. The assembly or some of the opposition refers to outdoor use of an outdoor backyard. I don't see that the backyard is licensed, and they have not requested that. Is that correct, Adam?
Not that I see.
So they're actually.
Reacting to something that's not even there.
Well, they did use the backyard illegally previously, and we violated them for it for the extension
that's
of premises. But I don't see them requesting to license the backyard. But they clearly are trying to pull off every restriction that's on this license. And the assembly member is Celine Weinstein. The New York City Council member Farrah Lewis objects, as well as the Flatbush Civic Group.
Well, they're okay with the hours being extended by an hour, I think, but no DJ.
I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, I'm just going to vote to deny as well.
I'm voting to deny as well. I mean, what they're asking for looks like they want to turn their restaurant into a nightclub. They want promoters, they want DJ, jukebox, karaoke, live music, 4 a.m. closing. That's not a restaurant anymore. So I'll deny.
But the next item is 587, BNNR Inc.
Westchester restaurant, 12 employees, principal to manage. It's a change in the method of operation. Right now, they're allowed recorded music, no dancing, security on Friday and Saturday night, and alcohol stops being served at 12 a.m. Wants occasional live music, acoustic only, and they want a 4 a.m. closing. There are no protests.
And they were told to come back in a year.
Correct.
Half,
And they have no adverse history with us. The reason the conditions were placed on it in the first place was because of the former licensee's adverse charges.
They currently have 2 a.m.,
12 a.m.
12 a.m.
They stop. They have to stop serving at 12 a.m. for whatever reason. It didn't say close,
Okay.
which I must have done in error. We all did in error. It looks like.
I think there was some
This is actually across the street from a college, and there's lots of residents around there, so I have some concern about issuing a 4 a.m. license.
Okay.
So
I'm
Commissioner
okay with the 3-piece acoustic combo playing popular music.
What about 2 a.m.?
2 a.m. is fine.
Okay.
Okay, Commissioner Ford, what's your vote? I guess we'll take it in two pieces. The music.
I'll give them till 2 a.m. and the occasional live entertainment 3-piece acoustic group as well.
2 a.m. across the board?
Yes.
Okay.
Chairman Bradley.
Same for me. What college is across the street from this, Commissioner Fan?
Iona?
Okay.
Next item 588, Best Liquors and Wines Inc.
This is a liquor store in Ulster County, Saugerties, New York. This was a liquor store previously that you might remember that we canceled for serious violations. There was literally money laundering going on in the liquor store. It's 1,056 square feet, 864 square feet retail. Former owners tried to reapply a couple of times using straw men, which at least we believe they were straw men, and we denied, as well as the fact that there is a liquor store right across the street, and it's a small village. The owner and manager does not live anywhere near the location. He lives 3 hours away, yet says he's going to manage and supervise this location. He lives in Floral Park, New York, which is at least a 3-hour drive. And he has another business.
Yeah, I don't really believe in anything that's presented here, so I vote to deny.
Well, hold on a second, though.
Yeah?
The applicant, I'm not saying that I'm advocating one side or the other, but he does own the premises and owns a grocery store next door. Whether that means that he physically will be...
Well, so did the last guy.
Yeah, we'll be driving up to make sure the place is supervised. And there's essentially a store across the street. Although the argument from the applicant is that because there's a double yellow line, it's inconvenient for people who are driving northbound to enter the parking lot of the other place.
Well, he actually says it's illegal.
Well, yeah. Putting aside whether that law gets broken, that people actually cross double yellow lines like I do when I go to the bagel store on that street every day.
I drive by this place, and
Yeah,
it's not an inconvenience to turn into that plaza.
No.
Ever.
But I just want to make sure that that's clear on the record before the vote comes in.
Okay, go ahead.
Commissioner Ford?
We lost him.
Commissioner
Sorry,
Ford?
I was on mute.
Okay.
Sorry, I was on mute. I vote to deny as well. I don't see
I vote to deny. I for two reasons. One, I question how he's going to manage and supervise anyone from 3 hours away, and even though he does own the buildings. And two, I just don't see the need for it. I don't see any public convenience and advantage. This is a small village. The population has not increased in any significant way, and there's already 4 liquor stores nearby. So I vote to deny.
The next item, 589, Nibu Hookah Lounge, Inc.
This is a no contest default to one charge.
Revoke and bond.
Commissioner Ford?
I was at cancel and bond, but I can go with revoke.
Revoke and bond.
590, Andy Grocery, Inc.
Straight no contest for 2 charges, no adverse history.
I'm at 2,000.
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, 2,000.
2,000.
Next item, 592, Coins Tavern, Inc.
This is a CNC for 2 charges, no adverse history.
2,000 accept.
1,000 steps.
Accept.
Next item, 593.
CNC, 1 charge.
1,500 accept.
Why is he under SAPA? Because of this 1 charge?
Yeah, probably.
You don't have to do that.
May not have.
No, I mean for that kind of history and that charge, I mean just...
It may have been on previously.
Okay. I'll accept.
All right, we all good with that?
1,500 accept.
Okay. Next items, 594, 595, 596. Eclipse Bar and Lounge, Inc.
3 proceedings, conditional no contest to 23 charges.
Cancel and bond accept.
Yeah, cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Next item, 597, El Trio Corp.
CNC to 5 charges. Some adverse history, not significant though.
2,000 accept.
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 598, Farragut Manor Inc.
Conditional no contest to one charge.
Letter of warning accept.
Been licensed since 1997. Letter of warning.
Accept.
Next item, 599. MG54 Bar and Lounge Inc.
This is a Bronx tavern wine license that is asking to change to a full on-premises license. No adverse history with us, but apparently there is protests from the community board, and the community board has brought up significant issues that they've been having with the location, as well as people in the apartment building living nearby.
Most of the police attention to it says was unfounded or no crime committed.
That's generally what happens in New York on 311 calls.
Yeah.
Because they end up showing up. By the time they show up, it's the condition has changed. So it doesn't mean it wasn't there, but they didn't find it, or they did find it. Correct.
Commissioner Fan?
I vote to deny because the community board and the police both do not support this request.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to deny as well for the same reasons.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to deny as well. The police records indicate an extreme number of 311 calls. There's clearly a sale to minor that the police conducted that we never even got a referral on, it looks like. And the neighboring building is clearly having issues with the place. In fact, I think we should, can you tell our enforcement, just to put a note to check this place out when we get back on track? I deny as well.
Next item is 600. Bottle Llc.
This is a Brooklyn new on-premises license, 500-foot case. The applicant had a previous license canceled for cause in May of 2019. I think it's supposed to be a restaurant with 3 employees, no security, recorded music only, open 11 a.m. to 4 a.m. daily. He told the community board he was going to be a restaurant, but on the 500-foot hearing he said he was going to be a tavern. I don't know whether that's just a misuse of terms or the menu does not look adequate for a restaurant. Am I wrong in that, Adam?
It's primarily burgers, sandwiches.
Which I guess is the
That's the definition of
Tavern.
Tavern menu.
right. Which isn't. It's neither here nor there, I guess. But
Yeah, and I want to note that on page 19 of the personal questionnaire, under license history, the canceled license is referred to as being approved and surrendered as opposed to being canceled by the full board.
correct.
So applicant counsel wrote a letter saying that they will agree to 11:45 closing, that they're trying to say that it's just a burger joint. And since the 500-foot hearing ruled in favor, and this looks like it's a replacement location for the licensee, I will vote to approve, but only until midnight, with recorded music only, no dancing, no promoters.
Commissioner Ford?
He says that the community board support, but I don't see that.
Well, there wasn't. He probably went back and changed the hour request, and then maybe they did.
Okay. Yeah,
They-
ALJ.
They certainly weren't going to approve 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'm okay with the 12 a.m. and I'll approve on the same grounds.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll approve on the same grounds. 12 close.
12 close. 601 Speedway LLC.
This is a package store removal in Oneida County, trying to move the package store near one of the gas stations that they own, and right next door to Utica College. The current package store is 800 square feet. The new one would be 938 square feet. The applicant has 280 licenses, and all grocery store licenses, with 51 sales to minor since 2016 and the 280 licenses. I don't know what to think about that. Is that 1 out of 4?
Well, there are some that have multiple. Some, because I went back and
Some
don't have any violations. Some have multiple violations.
There's 4 licenses within 3 miles. The closest one is 0.9 miles away. We got 1 protest letter.
Yeah, this is on Route 69. It's not near Utica College. I thought that's what you said. It's not near Utica
I
College.
did say I thought I looked on the thing and it's got Utica College on their map.
Utica College has to be at least.
I see. You're right. Okay.
It's a few miles away. But I think based on this licensee's violation, I'm going to vote for them.
So we got a little break up there. We're going to deny it, Commissioner Ford?
I'm voting to deny, yes.
Okay. Commissioner Fan?
I'll vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll vote to deny as well. The 2 of the 4 closest are showing decrease in sales. The closest store is less than a mile away, and there's no indication that there's any development or population increase here, and he's moving 45 miles, so he's moving from one market to a brand new market that doesn't appear to need another store at this time.
Next one is 602 Shanghai 21 Inc.
This is a Manhattan restaurant wine license. There's no protests, and there was an application here previously that we denied because the applicant was caught serving without a license while the application was pending.
Manu, the principal of this corporation applicant was a cashier for the guy who was caught selling without a license.
So it looks like the old owner sold it to someone else, and then that person never asked for a license, but he then sold it to the old owner's cashier. So it is the cashier that he was part of the business that violated the law.
Yeah, I vote to deny.
I vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I vote to deny for cause. There's that one, he was a cashier, and 2, that somehow he came up with $85,000, or I'm sorry, $100,000 cash to
Buy the business.
without, it doesn't appear any indication where that $100,000 came from. I think we have an idea, but
The cashier paid $100,000.
he's working a lot of hours.
Saving up.
The next item, 603 DVR 166 Inc.
Westchester on premises. There is outside sidewalk seating. The previous 2 licenses here were canceled. One because, and you may remember, Commissioner Fan, I don't know if you were here for this one or not, the one where the woman came in and blatantly lied about the relationship with the prior owner. There were 2 licenses. There were 2 licenses at that time, which we had to then take back and shut. And it looks like this applicant has leased out one of those 2 licenses.
And I do want to make a note about the outdoor space. We sent a deficiency letter regarding the sidewalk cafe because there is a public thoroughfare that separates the licensed premise from the proposed patio. And we did not receive a response with an approval from the city or an easement from the city to allow them to use that space.
They want a restaurant with 25 employees, a manager, 3 security guards, recorded music, DJ, no live music, no karaoke, no promoters, no dancing. The max capacity is 191. And the applicants both have a pretty significant history at other locations that they own, some of which are right in the direct area.
And the hours?
I don't know if they put the hours in there. They say they're only going to have a chef till 9 p.m., which is obviously problematic for a restaurant.
Wait, where's that?
What?
The chef till 9 p.m.
Method of operation? Probably?
Community boards, city stipulations, hours of operation are 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. every day.
Really?
Close
This place or all restaurants?
for this place.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know how you support 25 employees and a manager and 3 security guards without it being a club bar type atmosphere.
Yeah, sounds to me like they're trying to make it a club as well. I'm looking at the adverse history of the applicants, and I'd give you, any of them that were like 2008, 2010 even, but they're all have history digging into 2018, that recent. So I'm at a no.
And I just want to state for the record, those hours were not applied to this. That was incorrect that I gave you. It's the wrong file scanned in.
The ALJ.
I'm sorry, Adam. So say that again.
Yeah, so the hours that I gave you, that it was 12 to 12 every day, is not correct. There was the wrong document scanned into the file. I was looking at the wrong document.
I didn't see anything in their application what their hours would be, so I assume they want
4 a.m.
Right. I don't know. I mean, with no real supervision plan and the request for 3 security guards and recorded music and DJ, it makes me nervous that this is not a restaurant. So I'm going to go with Commissioner Ford and vote to deny.
I'm going to deny as well the negative history of the 2 principals plus the history of this location, which is also extremely negative. And the method of operation, as you mentioned, looks like it's the same as the other ones, meaning DJ, with the security guards would indicate it's not really a restaurant, and clearly they want to be open until 4. So if they want to be a restaurant, they can reapply without all the extra accoutrements.
Next item, 604, Filthy Diamond, LLC.
This is a new on-premise in Brooklyn in a residential building located on a residential block. The community board actually supports, but only if the alcohol stops at 1 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and 3 a.m. Friday and Saturday. The applicant is adamant that one of the applicants is adamant that she needs 4 a.m. or will not be competitive, yet then they list the bars within 500 feet, and it seems like of all the bars within 500 feet, only 2 of them have 4 a.m., so I don't know what would lead her to believe everyone's going to run to those 2 bars after 3. There's some experience
500-foot hearing.
Yes. 6
That was
employees, no security, recorded live music, and DJ, no dancing. They're going to try to cater to a late night older crowd. They have an outdoor backyard contained by a wall and a fence. There's 20 people max out in the backyard. They intend on closing the backyard at 11 p.m. And as I said, this is a residential building.
The ALJ concluded that the applicant has met the burden. I like this. The music will be at moderate levels and will old school and funk.
They got your
What
number.
kind of music?
They got my vote. So
Don't say that.
I think he means it. There's also going to be a floral shop flower shop inside the tavern.
Yeah, that's why they need 3 a.m.
No, 4.
Yeah, 4.
The community board was willing to give him 3.
I'm not going to give them that.
So this is interesting, though. The ALJ suggested a bunch of stipulations that we may want to consider. Generally, they're pretty standard, but he's suggesting that we require 1 security guard. So I may agree with that.
Or security as needed, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe on the weekend or something, on Friday, Saturday. Or as needed, as you said, Adam. I think that sounds fine. All right, so I will vote to approve 1 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, 3 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and security guards as needed, recorded and live music and DJ, but no dancing, no promoters.
Commissioner Ford.
I'll go with all the same. I vote to approve with all the same stipulations.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to approve under the same stipulations.
Next time, 605, Executive Cafe Corp.
Conditional no contest to 3 charges. No adverse history.
1 charge.
What's the number?
605.
Oh, I don't have that one.
It's unauthorized trade name. It's a $2,500 civil penalty offer. History is a 2 counts of failure to comply.
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah. And they
All
apply.
right, 2,500 is up.
I'll accept it.
I was going to reduce for 1,000. They've been open since
Okay.
1983. You know, and I kind of think we're kind of splitting hairs a little bit about the name. So, but nonetheless, it wasn't correct, and I think it's fixed now. So, I give them 1,000.
And Commissioner Fan, you good with that?
Yes.
Chairman Bradley?
Yes.
Next item, 606, El Monumento Restaurant, Inc.
Read that one time. I don't know that one either.
All right, this is a CNC, failure to comply noise, $1,500. There is a history here of purchase unauthorized source, 2 counts refilling, and disorderly premises, all occurring back in 2017. They paid a $5,000 fine.
1,500 accepts for noise.
Yeah, it was a year and a half ago. Have they been clean since? Anything since?
No sustained violation since.
Okay. I'm all right with 1,500, accept.
I'll accept too.
Okay. Next is 607, Aldos Deli and Grocery Corp.
That's the one you were on.
Yeah, this is 3 charges, conditional no contest, no adverse history.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Next one is 608, Yee's Taberna LLC.
Conditional no contest, 1 charge, no adverse history.
$3,500 a set.
Why do we have no bond available?
Because they were selling when they were not licensed. So there was a gap.
Ah, okay,
So
I'll accept.
next, 609 and 617A, BT Chapter Spar Inc.
This is a request for reconsideration on February 13th. The full board rejected the CNC of $10,000 and made a counteroffer of $19,000. They're now offering cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond a set.
Cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford.
Cancel and bond accept.
Next we have 610, Pearl Seafood Restaurant 1, LLC.
They're looking to extend the conditional approval until July 30th, 2020.
I will go to 6 months beyond what their expiration of May 13. I will go to November 13, 2020.
Commissioner Ford.
Same here.
I'll do the same.
Next, 611, 612, 613, Fun K, LLC.
This is a conditional no contest to 3 proceedings and 11 charges.
Cancel and bond a set.
This place has been through many names over the years. Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
614, 3507, RSRT, LLC.
This is a request for an extension of a conditional approval till October 12th, 2020.
I will do October 12, 2020.
Commissioner Ford.
Same here.
Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. 615, 764 3rd Avenue Liquors, Inc.
This is a conditional no contest to 11 charges that was related to cases we did last hearing.
Correct.
It's a CNC, 110,000.
110,000 a set.
I was willing to do 100,000 to be consistent. I think that's what we accepted on the other ones.
There was one prior that was 100,000. I don't know if they had the same number of charges. That might be why the number is higher.
Okay.
So I don't know that they're identical cases, although they do both involve essentially doctors using a purported consultant and having liquor stores as an investment. Although the doctors have now said they want to run the liquor stores themselves and are willing to put their money behind it, apparently. This particular one's asked for a reduction because of the coronavirus situation.
Well, every liquor store in the state is doing gangbusters because of the coronavirus situation. So.
Well, I'm not suggesting that there should be an adjustment, and in fact, this is the offer that we're presenting. But they say they're in a commercial area that's depressed because businesses are closed. But anyway, that's the reason for their request for lowering but they did not withdraw the offer. The offer is still a CNC at 110,000.
And so with that, Commissioner Pham,
I'm at 110.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll do 110. That's the offer.
110.
next item, 616, 3495 Broadway Cafe, Inc.
Oh, you gotta read that one. I don't know why I don't have that. I must have these.
Request to extend a conditional approval.
Oh, I threw it away. Right. Okay. If this is to extend a conditional approval.
I am okay with another 6 months, even though the request is for 3. I don't think it's going to happen. We might as well go to November 15 of 2020.
Yes.
Commissioner Ford,
I'm okay with that too.
Kevin Brother.
I'm okay with that.
Next item is 617. It's a solicitor's permit.
There's 2 charges, conditional no contest.
Cancel and 1,000 civil penalty.
Commissioner Ford?
Cancel and 1,000 civil penalty, yes.
Chairman Bradley?
Cancel and penalty.
All right, the next item, 617C. Blues Jazz Cafe LLC.
This is a new restaurant wine license in Manhattan on 5th Avenue in Harlem. Restaurant with 3 to 5 employees, recorded music, no DJ, no live music, no karaoke or dancing, principal to manage. It appears it's open now. There was the individual, the principals, or one of the principals applied previously with another principal, and that license was denied for deficiencies. Adam, is that correct?
Yes.
And then there was a change in ownership. This is where it gets somewhat dicey to me because they changed ownership. The original principal remained, and they brought on a new principal who looks like it's the brother of the co-principal.
Yeah, and we didn't get an explanation on.
So licensing asked for an explanation as to what the reason for the ownership change was, and they never got one, which led to the deficiency previously. Now we've got an answer. Well, not really an answer, but there was information that there's an operating agreement from November of 2015 listing the 2 applicants as principals. And then we just got another one yesterday. We got a purchase agreement listing the 2 applicants as the owners, yet the purchase agreement is 2 years after the LLC operating agreement. Dated, correct? Am I wrong in that? Yes.
Yes.
I am wrong or I'm right?
No, you're right.
So the operating agreement is from November 2nd, 2015. It lists Fatih Birkiri and Valbona Birkiri as LLC members. Yet the sale agreement we just got, the agreement for purchase and sale that we just got last Friday, that's dated July 27, 2017, lists the same 2 individuals as just becoming owners. So obviously something smells here.
Yeah, really not sure what's going on here, so I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm going to vote to deny as well. I'm not following this. I'm not clear on this.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to deny. The LLC agreements completely contradict each other. One says they both owned it since 2015. The one we got Friday said they just got it in July of 2017. Somebody is obviously lying. Why, I don't know, but I don't care.
All right, next item, 617D. Glass Ceiling Events LLC.
This is a new Manhattan on-premises, not previously licensed. It's a rooftop of a commercial building on 29th Street. It's a bar tavern, 74 max table seating for 48, recorded music and DJ, no dancing. The community board has voted to request us to deny. It's a 500-foot case. The building is only 4 stories high that this is on the rooftop of, and there is a residential building right next door, which is the main source of the protests as well as the community board protests. There's outdoor space as well as enclosed space enclosed by glass.
Commissioner Fan.
With protests from Community Board 5, a unanimous vote from the Executive Committee of the Community Board 5 with 8 votes recommending denial, and objection letter from Assemblymember Godfrey, Senator Kruger, Gail Brewer, Keith Powers, and the residents at 1200 Broadway, 29th Street Association, and the Tenant Association at 50 West 29th Street, and many other local residents. I vote to deny. I vote to deny for cause because there is one letter from a neighbor, Jamie Gorman, that specifically said we have several windows that are directly exposed and fully accessible to the rooftop, and we have concerns that if there are hundreds of patrons coming to this venue, many of them will be able to see into and have access to our window/apartment. That is reason enough to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
For all of those reasons, I vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny. I think that the community board, this is only a 4-story building. The buildings surrounding it are much taller. Well, I shouldn't say much taller, but they are significantly taller, meaning 6 floors or more taller. This outdoor space, as well as this glass enclosed venue with recorded music and DJ, has a negative impact written all over it, and I think that's why there's so much opposition to it from not just the community members, but from also the local elected officials. So unless they can work something out with the community board, I don't see how this venue is appropriate for this location, given it's only a 4-floor building.
Next item, 617E, River Valley Court.
What'd you write?
No, I didn't.
Oh, did
You wrote.
I agree. Oh, okay. This is a Queens new on-premises license, tavern bar with 32 tables, 171 seats, maximum occupancy of 220 people, 10 employees, a manager, recorded music and karaoke. There's a big adverse history at the location. The prior license was canceled due to adverse history. There's no real input from the community board, yet they asked us to wait until they weigh in, which I still don't think they have. Am I wrong in that?
No, there's a letter from the community.
Oh, you're right. And there is it is a 500-foot case too.
I'm sorry, what did the letter from the community board say, Adam?
Community board recommends that it be disapproved. They're not content with the karaoke bar, private rooms, pool tables, but they're recommending it be disapproved.
33 in favor of disapproval, 5 opposed, and 1 absent.
There's also a letter from Mr. Flynn in the record, in which he proposes some additional stipulations the licensee is willing to agree to.
He also says that there's no community opposition to the application.
He may not have seen the letter we got.
Okay, well then I vote to deny.
The letter's from March 6th, so that may have been why this was being adjourned.
Okay. I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I have a history of being fined. I figure about almost 20,000 while I've been on the board, and 20,000 before me, 41,000 since I've been on the board, for over 60,000. No, I don't think so. No, I disapprove. I deny.
Chairman Bradley.
Yeah, I'm going to vote to disapprove was a seriously problematic location, as Commissioner Ford just mentioned. I don't see any evidence in the background of the applicant that he has any experience in running something like this, and particularly a place that had as bad history as this place does. Plus, the community board is adamantly against it, so I vote to deny.
Right then, next item, 617F.
This is a liquor store in Manhattan on 3rd Avenue, Upper East Side in the 80s. 4 protest letters. There's 11 stores within 0.3 mile radius. The 4 closest stores, the 4th closest is 0.3 miles, and the closest is, you don't see this every day, 0.06 miles, 300 feet. The 2nd closest is 571 feet. Come on.
So I just have a question, if anybody can clarify why there is a resume of a guy named Philippe Leglos that is in the supplemental material, but it's not explained anywhere why he's part of this application. He has not submitted a personal questionnaire as a manager or anything like that. Or am I missing something?
No, I don't.
It's what we received from Mr.
The representative.
Mr. Flynn does not explain in his letter who this person is, and the name of this person whose resume has been provided cannot be found in the application.
Right.
I would guess, if you want to guess, that he's going to be a manager.
Well, or a sommelier for the place.
I don't see that either.
Well, the guy's obviously a wine.
He certainly has
restaurant and wine experience.
In the hospitality industry, yes. And then the rest of it is the supplemental is some developments by this area or proposed developments, as well as products that they're going to sell.
He was the restaurant manager at La Grenouille and the Hotel de Crillon. Very impressive. Just don't know who he is.
Yeah. Too bad I can't really, give that
Not
resume any credit.
Actually, this is
So I'm going to vote to deny. It's too close to the other store. That's only 1 block away.
His credentials don't move this store down the street.
All right, Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, I vote to deny as well. The store is a stone throw away, so I vote to deny.
Kevin Bradley?
I'm going to vote to deny too. There's literally 2 stores a stone throw away. I mean, one appears to be 300 feet or 300 plus feet, and the other one is 500 and some feet. I mean, that to me seems like 575 feet. It seems to me like they have at least 2 stores, the people in this area that are within a 1-minute walk, and then 11 others that are within a 10 or 8 others that are within a 10-minute walk.
All right, next one is 617G, All Night Skate Inc.
This is a new on-premise license in Brooklyn. Tavern with 9 employees, 1 security guard. Principals are to manage. Recorded music only. No dancing. 12 seats at the bar. Table seating for 24. The owners have experience and plan to be active on the premise.
Chairman, before this was a 200-foot matter that we still are waiting on a report for.
Why? The guy hasn't gone out yet?
The investigators started their investigation, but they've been waiting to speak to the church, as I recall.
Okay. So it's come down to that, though. It's within 200 feet. We have to just prove. We have to establish that the church is.
So over to 513?
Yes.
Okay.
I really love carrying this thick one with me to and from for the last 3 months.
All right, the next item.
Don't laugh. He's coming from I'm not gonna get into that. If he was taking it on the subway, I'd agree. But
Well, I'm sure when this one started, I was taking it on the subway.
The next item is 617H, Kitchen 44 Core. If you remember, Mr. Powell requested the matter be held over to this meeting because of the COVID situation, as he called it. He contacted us on yesterday, Monday or Tuesday, indicating that because of the COVID situation, he was unable to get to his office by 2 p.m. on last Friday to send in whatever it is that he wanted to send in. So he's asking for another adjournment.
no, unless the other two disagree with me, no. Does anyone disagree? How many times?
I don't know. I would just say that if he plans to submit something that will aid the application, I would be willing to wait.
He's not telling me what he wants to submit. This was supposed to be why it was put over till today.
Yeah, but we also don't know. I don't know. I get nervous. I just don't know what situations people are facing. If you've been like quarantined or you have family members who are sick, I think that we have to sort of give them a benefit of the doubt.
He didn't make.
All right, one adjournment, and then it's going without him. The applicant has been denied 3 times at this location. One was for a felony drug arrest. So I don't anticipate he's going to be able to give us anything that's going to matter.
All right, so it's over to 513. All right.
And there's no further adjournment, so he can either withdraw it or adjourn it.
The next item
That's right.
is 617I, TJ Wine and Spirits Inc.
This is a Queens liquor store in Flushing. 2 employees, principal will manage. There's 2 protests. There are 6 stores in 0.8 miles. The closest store is 0.3 miles. It's 1,800 square feet. 750 of that is retail.
Commissioner Fan?
Is there any protest on record here? There are 2. Okay.
You got a little muddy there. We couldn't understand you.
This is a close call. I think there are a lot of stores in the area that are struggling in numbers, so I'm not really seeing a need for another store just from the sales numbers. So with that, I vote to deny.
Food, I think, from the.
Oh, Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers too, and I don't really see anybody tearing up the place. There's 4th closest store, 8,400 square feet. Well, their numbers are, but otherwise than that, I don't see the need for another store. So I'm voting to deny.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm voting to deny too. The sales are flat or down. Those sales we have by all the closest stores. They gave development info, but it looks like it's all proposed development. None of it is, or not none of it, but most of it is proposed and has not even started yet. There's no evidence of a population increase, so I vote to deny.
Next item, 617J, Kirkland Mini-Mart Inc.
This is a Rochester new grocery store, beer and wine products. The previous license here was canceled for availing. The company that was doing the availing applied twice and was denied. The applicant bought the business from the previous applicant, and this applicant seems to be married to the former applicant's daughter. Am I mistaken there?
It's accurate.
Commissioner Fan?
sorry, can you go over that again?
It's a grocery store wine and beer and wine products license. The previous license here was canceled for availing. The company doing the availing applied twice for the license here and was denied. This applicant bought the business from the previous applicant. This applicant seems to be married to the former applicant's daughter. And this applicant was also the cashier at a grocery store, but I can't figure out which one. I'm assuming it was the one that was doing the availing.
I see. Okay, I vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I vote to deny. I'm not clear that this is an availing, so I do deny.
Chairman Brown.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with the father-in-law being this close to this license after his previous activity. I'm voting to deny.
All right, Chairman, I have no other items. You have anything else?
I do not.
All right, then the
Thank
meeting
you.
is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.